Why intelligent people never show emotions in 3 situations. Let's find out. Today we're exploring a powerful and sometimes misunderstood topic. Why intelligent people often choose not to show emotions in certain situations. Now let's get one thing straight. Intelligent people aren't emotionless robots. In fact, they often feel things very deeply. But they've learned that how and when they express emotion matters. They know that emotion, if unchecked, can lead to poor decisions, damaged relationships, and missed opportunities. So instead of reacting emotionally, they respond intentionally. In this video, we're going to break down 3 specific situations where highly intelligent people tend to hold back their emotions, and we'll unpack the psychology and strategy behind each one. During conflict or argument, let's start with one of the most common and challenging situations: conflict. Think about the last time you saw 2 people arguing. Maybe it was online, in traffic, or at work. What usually happens? Tensions rise, voices get louder, logic goes out the window, and before you know it, it's not about solving the issue, it's about winning. But here's where intelligent people act differently. They don't get sucked in emotional chaos. They don't interrupt, they don't shout, they stay calm and they listen. Why? Because they understand this truth. In conflict, emotion is often the enemy of resolution. When you argue emotionally, your brain switches from problem-solving mode to defense mode. You stop thinking clearly. Your ego takes the wheel. But intelligent people, especially those with high emotional intelligence, know how to manage that impulse. They slow the conversation down. They ask questions instead of making accusations. They detach from the need to be right. Why? Because their goal isn't to win the argument. It's to understand, solve the issue, or maintain their integrity. Sometimes that means walking away. Sometimes it means agreeing to disagree. But always it means not letting emotions dictate their behavior. They don't see self-control as weakness. They see it as a form of power. After achieving something great. Now let's talk about the flip side of emotion: joy, pride, excitement, especially after achieving something big. Most people expect a celebration, a shout of success, maybe even bragging a little. And sometimes that's fine. But highly intelligent people often surprise others by downplaying their own success. Why? Because they have a different mindset about achievement. For them, success isn't a final destination. It's a milestone, a checkpoint on a longer journey. So instead of getting lost in the moment, they're already thinking, what's next? How can I improve? This doesn't mean they don't feel proud. They do, but they often prefer to celebrate privately, with a close circle, or even in solitude, because their validation doesn't come from applause. It comes from knowing they did their best. There's also another reason. When you express too much emotion after a win, especially in public, it can trigger envy, resistance, or hidden competition. Intelligent people are aware of social dynamics. They know that bragging or boasting might alienate others or invite unnecessary judgment, so they keep it cool. Not because they're cold, but because they're strategic. They believe in letting results speak louder than reactions, and sometimes their quiet confidence makes an even stronger impression. When they're insulted or provoked. Now let's look at perhaps the toughest moment to stay calm. When someone tries to provoke you. Maybe it's a personal insult, a rude comment, a passive-aggressive jab. Most people react instantly. Anger, defensiveness, even revenge. But highly intelligent people pause. They don't explode. They don't take the bait. Why? Because they've learned that reacting emotionally to an insult is like handing your power over to the other person. They know that people who provoke are often projecting their own insecurities, their own frustrations. Intelligent individuals don't take that personally. They might respond with humor, or logic, or nothing at all. Often the best response is simply silence, because silence says, I heard you. I'm not threatened, and I won't waste energy on this. This kind of emotional discipline takes practice. It's not always easy, but it's incredibly effective. It protects your peace, it preserves your image, and it teaches others how to treat you. Remember, Not reacting doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're in control. So let's recap what we've learned today. Intelligent people tend to hold back emotions in three key situations. 1. During conflict, to stay focused on facts and solutions. 2. After success, to stay humble and avoid unnecessary attention or envy. 3. When insulted, to keep their power and rise above the noise. It's not about being fake. It's not about hiding who you are. It's about choosing your response, not letting emotions choose it for you. That's emotional intelligence. That's mental discipline. And in many ways, that's real wisdom. Thanks for being here today. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to reflect. Where in your life can you bring more calm, more intention, and more control to your emotions? Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all.